afternoon, good evening, wherever you are around the world. Welcome to another edition of the OL Assembly. I'm going to be one of your hosts today. My name is Karishma Sushil Kumar from the batch of 2005. And here is my co-host.
I'm Elizabeth Beena Beliappa Neet Tharakan from the batch of 1970. And we have decided that we will make a big change in the assembly. So, what is the first thought that comes to you when we think of the assembly at school? We think of our majestic hall, large hall, and the rows of chairs, and where all of us sat very attentively listening to whoever was addressing us that day. It could have been the headmaster, it could have been a staff member, it could have been a visiting dignitary. So now we are changing it around and trying to do it differently. So we have divided the first part of it as OL tidbits. So it'll be with achievements, celebrations, and in memoriam where it needs to be done. So let's take it away, Karishma.
Fabulous, that's right. So we're kind of making it a little more like our experience with assembly at school, a little reminiscent of that. So bringing back those hymns, bringing back some of that singing and news flashes. So as Beena Auntie just said, the first segment here, what we'll have is what we're calling Assembly Tidbits. And that's really where we're going to be talking about any news that we want to share with you, or any call-outs. This also means there's an opportunity for anyone who's listening, and we invite the entire OL family and community to ping us and reach out and let us know if there's anyone you'd like to for us to do a shout out and say, hey, we celebrate your achievement, and we're with you in that celebration. So let's get started with those kudos. The first person that we'd like to highlight is somebody from the batch of 1984. This is MP Cherian, better known as Sanjay Pothin to his friends and folks. Now, Sanjay has been elected as the president of the UPASI, which is the United Planters Association of Southern India. His term will last for 1 year, which is 2021 to 2022. Congratulations, Sanjay. Let's move on to the next person we have in the lineup. This is Dr. NRTR Tyagarajan. He's from the batch of 1992. Now, Dr. NRTR Tyagarajan has been appointed as the State Secretary of the Indian Medical Association of Tamil Nadu. Congratulations, a high honor indeed. All righty, now we go on to somebody from, incidentally, my batch, which is the batch of 2005, and we might be proud of her, of the company Jet Set Go. Jet Set Go has recently become India's first aircraft leasing company. A great honor and achievement on the part of Kanika and her entire team, and all the kudos to you, Kani. Next up, we've got a fabulous father-son OL duo. This is Mr. Raman Menon from the batch of 1964, and his son Prashant Menon from the batch of 1994. Now, they were awarded for being the quality icon in bought leaf tea sector in the Nilgiri Wayanad Tea Association. Incidentally, Prashant is also serving currently as the treasurer of the OLA committee. Congratulations, father and son. Mighty proud indeed of you both. And now I'll hand over the reins for the rest of the sort of updates to Beena Auntie, who will take you through the remainder of the tidbits.
Thank you, Karishma. The next person needs no introduction. Anand Mahindra from the batch of 1970 has been nominated along with a team of 15 members, to revamp the NCC. This has been constituted by the Defense Ministry to carry out a comprehensive review of the NCC. Anand takes this on with great pride as he was a part of the NCC at school. And now, let's move on to a very big milestone, 100th birthday of Mrs. Enos, which brought old Laurentians together to celebrate, in spite of the pandemic, with a teacher who has left a deep impression on ever so many Laurentians from the 50s right down to the 80s. A big shout out to Sangeeta Jairam from the batch of 87, our alumni coordinator, for putting this together. So now we will see a clipping of the day. It was celebrated a day before her actual birthday on the 27th of August.
To you, happy birthday to you, happy birthday dear Miss Enos, happy birthday to you. No cry, you must be happy. Miss Enos, it's a happy birthday, not crying birthday. Yes. You are just one. You are just one. You just one. Now please blow. Please blow.
Tina, I wish good health and wealth and all my old Laurentians will be near or far wherever they are. I wish them all health, wealth, and to be wise.
Yay!
Thank you so much, Mrs. Enos, for your advice to all the old Laurentians to be wise. On behalf of all of us old Laurentians, Mrs. Enos was given a gift check. The OLA, with the approval and blessings of Mrs. Enos, is setting up a scholarship fund to continue the legacy, her legacy to school. We already have 1,62,500 in the bank after we made this announcement. Thank you everyone for it, and we will let you know how we go further with this. So now let's move on to the memoriam. On the 5th of September, we lost our chairman, Mr. Keshav Desiraju. He was the chairman of the Board of Governors, and he joined the board after a very highly acclaimed administrative career. And he was especially known for being in the field of mental health. He was a very down-to-earth person who addressed so many issues and found solutions to make a difference to the Lawrence School. The school has lost a very good supporter. He will be sorely missed.
All right, with the tidbits done, let's take you into the next part of the assembly. Now we have the hymn coming up. Today we're going to be singing together, O God, our help in ages past. This is a hymn that was written by Isaac Watts in 1708, and it paraphrases the 90th Psalm, the book of Psalms from the Bible. This was a request from the batch of 64, and we basically crowdsourced OLs from all across generations as well as time and space, and they've sent in their recordings and we put it together for all of us to enjoy. Those of you who remember the lyrics, of course, please sing along from where you are right now. Here is
Oh,
Wow, wasn't that fantastic? To think, the most amazing part is we had people singing from the batch of 55 right down to the batch of 2021. A
Wow.
spread of 66 years, and we all sang the same hymn. And you know we really need this for community engagement, and we already have a request for our next assembly, and it is going to be Abide With Me as the next hymn. So please, all of you, when you get the music score for this, please sing and send it so that we have more and more people joining us in this. This is really amazing. I would like to give credit to all the people who have sung. So here we go. From the batch of 1955 was Dr. K.V. Venugopal. Prem Rao from the batch of 1967, Santosh Mani from the batch of 70, Jacob George from the batch of 85, Sujata Goyali from the batch of 80, Manoj John from the batch of 91, Zachariah Chako from the batch of 93, Elizabeth John from the batch of 2001, Mayan Williams from the batch of 21, and we always also have Parameshwaran Bharathan from the batch of 1985. Thank you, everybody, for coming and joining us to do this hymn.
Wow, Beenanti, that was really cool. There's so many people who chimed in, sort of literally and figuratively. Thank you all for participating. It was so fun to see so many faces and across so many of the years at Lovedale. I especially love that even the piano was played by a Laurentian. That was really, really cool. So, folks, do chime in. As Beenanti said, reach out to us. We're at olalovedale@gmail.com. If ever you want to participate in any of this or have ideas, do ping us there. This takes us now to our next little segment where we want to just chat with you about what's going to happen in terms of our different shows and the variety entertainment and so on. Beenandi talked about this earlier in the introduction to today's show, that some things are shifting. We came up with some ideas, so we wanted to talk to you guys about that. So Beenandi, what was one of the key reasons for why we wanted to revisit the assembly format?
The assembly was brought in to bring a lot of interaction in the community. So we want community engagement. So what we decided collectively was that, we would divide this up into smaller segments. So we'd have more of you coming in to participate with each of this. And we'll also get to know what is it that actually interests everyone. So that is why we have decided, we are not leaving out any segment. We will carry on with the entertainment. We will carry on with the glimpses of the glorious past and the Quiztale, which all three have been received very well. But since it was becoming very heavy as an assembly by itself, we decided to segregate it.
Absolutely. So, folks, we realized that, how do we keep up the engagement? We'd love to hear from you again. What is it that you want us to cover? We've already had some ideas come in, some suggestions for what hymns, some suggestions for what they'd like to see in Glimpses of a Glorious Past, which is an informal account of the history of school. So, what topics would you like to cover, for us to cover, and what would be interesting for you to participate in? Again, we'd love to hear from you guys. We're still fairly open and flexible. The idea is that we'd love for the community to come together and interact with one another and get to know each other in this fairly virtual world these days, right? Those physical interactions aren't happening as much anymore. And so with that, what we're going to be doing is some of the segments will spin off into their own shows. What you can watch out for is an event calendar of sorts that the OLA will start to publish, where you can see when what is going to happen and tune in when you're able. A shout out to all of the folks in the assembly team, all of the folks who are in the assembly team, as well as the folks in the OL Nation team, which are the primary events as of now. Now there will be a few more groups. So what we wanted to call out to all of you is also if there are any of those specific spin-off shows, whether it's the quiz or the history piece, if you'd like to participate, we'd love to have you on. Especially folks who are in the fields of communications, production, anchors, MCs, folks who want to participate in that manner as well. We'd love to have you guys on. Pinati, what's going on with Glimpses of a Glorious Past this month anyway?
So we will be having the next edition of the Glimpses of the Glorious Past on the 16th of October. Please be sure to tune in on the 16th of October to see what is going to be told to us, because this has been a very, very interesting narration of the school history. We should all get to know the history of school. I mean, we enjoy it for what it is right now, but obviously it has got a history which we should all learn about too.
Fabulous. So that's what you have, folks. We wanted to just share with you where we were for the break, what ideas are flowing, and that it's a completely open and fun, transparent process. So do jump in. We're just a bunch of volunteers, so feel free to jump in. And with that, we can move on to our final little segment. Over to you, Binati.
So all of us know that we started doing these virtual assemblies when we missed our founders last year. And what we all look forward to, the founders, is our reunions. And every one of us have our milestone reunions. So this particular reunion video that we are doing is the first of its kind, because we've never done a 60th year reunion. And here we have the reunion from the batch of 1961. So please sit back and enjoy it. To think that they are still so full of fun is something that we should all learn from.
Start spreading the news. I've come back today. I want to be a part of it. Lovedale, Lovedale, these blanket white shoes are longing to stray, like through the very heart of it. Lovedale, Lovedale.
I cannot believe that it is 60 years since we left school. When we get together, the class of 1961, it's as if we were still in the classroom. The jokes, the fun, the frolic, and the silliness is just as if we were still in school. I think most of us had a sense of belonging to our classmates, and the bond just grew year after year, and it is as strong as ever now, 60 years later.
I want to wake up in this town that I so seek, and find I'm king of Big Hill, atop of the peak. These Lawrence School blues are drifting away.
Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, along with C. Subramaniam, Moraji Desai, and other ministers, were holding a meeting in Ooty. And they had organized a grand dinner at the Aranmore Palace. Our school orchestra was asked to play for them. So we got into our uniforms of bow ties and monkey jackets, and all of us, boys and girls, went to Arunmo Palace, and we were positioned in an alcove in front of the table where the food was being served. Denzel Prince was our bandmaster, and he was the conductor. So we started playing. After the second piece was over, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru came over to us and said, "Listen to our playing," and he invited us to join them for supper. Denzel then asked us to leave our instruments in our cases, and we were all invited to dine with all the senior dignitaries of the Congress Party. I remember speaking to Mrs. Indira Gandhi at that time, asking about her children, about the same age as I am. They were both studying in Doon School. Then, after the dinner was over, we collected whatever we could from the table, like buns, etc., and put it in our cases to take back to school and give it to our friends when we were in school. The next day, Panditji came to Lawrence School, and we had a assembly meeting, at which again the orchestra was that time in Sunday kit, in day kit. We were sitting at the back. There's a photograph of us with Mona Mansukani, another classmate of mine, and myself, taken with Panditji, Indira Gandhi, the headmistress, and the governor of Tamil Nadu. This was a very memorable event for our lives.
I'll make a brand new start of it in all of days. I have made it there, I'll make it anywhere. It's thanks to you, Lovedale, Lovedale.
We celebrated our 50 years 11 years ago now, and had a fabulous reunion in school where we met, at least where I met so many people that I hadn't met since I left. So we had Peter Gannon and Rita Thadani all the way from Canada, and of course Jai Chako from Kerala, and who else did we have? Partha and a couple of others I don't remember. We had Kutub Hai, Namita, and Firoz Ahmed, three of them who sadly are no more. So that's really sad. But anyway, it was great meeting them.
I think all of us feel very sad about it, and we do miss them and think of them a lot when we speak or get together.
Rukumani had made such fantastic arrangements for us. I'm sorry, did I forget to mention Ruku? She's our main leader actually. She was really our main leader. She had made fabulous arrangements at the hotel and bus and sandwiches and what you may. So Ruku, thank you so much for that. And she had also arranged a wonderful church service where we sang our old hymns. And at the end, it was very touching because we remembered all the ones who have departed at that time. I forget the names, but we prayed for them. So that was really very touching. So anyway, it was great meeting all of my old class friends after God knows how many, 40 plus years. So yeah, so we hope to meet soon. Ruku's making plans for us to meet somewhere. So all the best to everybody and thank you.
One of the very important things that our class has done is to have started the Lovedale Trust. The trust was an idea of Nomita's, and all of us got into the fray, and it was registered in 1997, and we have since educated 5 children, and hopefully once the pandemic is over, the trust money will go to the OLA and the good work will continue with their leadership. It's not easy to have 15-20 classmates agree upon the same thing, but because we are so close, everybody agreed and everybody helped. Hopefully we will be able to celebrate our 60th next month or sometime before the year ends, and look forward to that really.
Oh, that was an amazing batch reunion video, and what a wonderful way to celebrate togetherness as a virtual founders reunion.
A lot that we can learn from that batch, just not their togetherness. They thought of setting up a scholarship, which we in the OLA plan to take forward, and that is how we've even started with the Mrs. Enos's scholarship. So a lot we can learn. I mean, every day we have something to learn. And this video actually left me teary-eyed because I knew quite a lot of them. I still know a lot of them very well.
Yeah. All right. So that, folks, brings us to the end of today's assembly. We really hope you've enjoyed the few segments that we've had, and our calls for your participation and action still stand, and we're waiting to hear from you all. Beenanti, how do you think it went?
I thought it was good. It was very short and sweet. Absolutely short and sweet. We hit the right notes. So now we want feedback from all of you. And all
Absolutely.
Of you
That's
sit
really
back.
what we're waiting for.
Yes.
Yeah. So do comment if you're watching. You can watch us on Facebook, on YouTube. You can catch these as recordings that will be posted as well if you don't catch this live. And you can also catch updates on our Instagram page, OLA, Old Laurentians Association, to check us out there. So please join us next month. We should be back with some sort of thematic assembly for you, and of course that calendar as well that we'd love to be putting out. So we're fingers crossed that we get to that. Till next time, on behalf of both of us here, your hosts for the evening, and good morning, good afternoon, good night to you all. Please stick around and watch the credit reel to see all of the over and the cutlets who put this show together, and so that you can get some faces to the names. Have a wonderful day, and we'll see you soon.
Good night.
Keep your eyes on the road, your hand upon the wheel. Keep your eyes on the road, your hand upon the wheel. Yeah, we're going to the roadhouse, gonna have a good time. Yeah, back to the roadhouse, I got some bungalows. Yeah, back to the roadhouse, I got some bungalows. And that's for the people who like to go down slow. Let it roll, baby, roll. Let it roll, baby, roll. Let it roll, baby, roll. Let it roll all night long. Do it, Robbie, do it.